Okay, we are ready to go with the second part, but before I go to the second part, let me just go through your syllabus coverage once. So, yeah, with respect to your syllabus coverage, everything indicated in green is covered, okay. Other than that, things are yet to be covered. What I intend to cover today or in this video is structure initialization, copying, comparing structure variables, operation on individual members, array of structures, structure and function. This union size of structure, I will take it up maybe in the next video. Okay, so hoping we will sail through up till functions fine, that is structures and functions fine. Alright, okay. So all this was just done in the previous video. This was a basic structure definition, what we understood by a structure tag, what are structure variables, how do you have a structure variable declaration done two ways. Now we'll move on to structures part 2. Over here I have a structure which you all have already seen before as student. Alright, so if you see, this is your structure student. This entire thing from line number 1 to line number 9 or line number 8 to be precise is your structure definition inclusive of your structure variables. Now I'm using the same structure ahead to access and put some values in the data members of the structure. Okay, so S1 and S2 are my structure variables, so on and so forth. Name, age, branch, gender are my data members of the structure. So if you see over here, if I need to access student 1, which I said in my previous case I'm referring to as S1, okay, I used a structure variable as S1 and say dot. When you say dot, right, in your editor, you're going to get like a pop-up. So from there you select whichever member you want to access. So your pop-up shows all the members of your structure. So similarly, what I did is, I use puts and gets because I'm treating them as strings. And I've already told you in class that I cannot format whatever I take in gets. It's directly going to be the value. Similarly, over here I have taken value for age by accessing S1.age. Similarly, I have accessed the branch member by saying S1.branch. Now S1 is my structure variable dot branch. Now if I had to do the same thing for the second student, then I would have to say S2.branch. So over here I'm still dealing or talking to the first student itself, that is S1. So I even read his gender from line 22 to line 23. I'm reading his gender, and in this case I didn't use a gets, instead I use a scanf, and I use a %c because it's either an M or F, so one character. 25 to 28, I am displaying out onto the screen whatever is input from line number 13 to line number 25, just to see whether the values that I have initialized or I have accepted are gone in and sat in S1 structure variable, and the same variables are and the same values are going to be displayed onto the screen. So this is how you are going to play around with the values of your structure variables associated with specific data members. Need not be that. Now you may say that since you have like name, branch, gender and age as your data members, you may assign values to certain of them. Okay, you don't have to go in order, or you don't have to assign values to all of them. But then what's the point, right, if you're not going to assign values to all of them? However, you may not stick to the order of the definition in the structure. Alright, now if you see, name was elsewhere, branch was elsewhere, gender was elsewhere. So you can have a different order of that sort. Now when I talk about initialization, that is the values you're going to be giving at compile time over here. Alright, so in this case I have a different structure variable, and that structure variable you can see at line number 13 I have is as S3. Now this structure variable is assigned values at initial time or at compile time, so it is called as initialization. So assignment happening at the first instant is called as initialization. So over here you have to be careful about the order. So you have to give it as name first, age first, branch, and then gender. So in my main, I am just trying to print it out to check whether whatever I have entered in is whatever is going to be coming out. So you can play around with it by trying to display only name, trying to display only age, trying to display only branch, or trying to display only gender. Now how I try to display it is, if you can see at line number 16, I am trying to display age. But where is age? Age is gone and sat over here. For whom? For student. And how do you access that student? You access that student by saying S3. So you will have to say S3 dot age. Similarly, if you're trying to display a branch, you will say S3 dot branch. If you're going to say gender that you want to see, you will have to say S3 dot gender. But care has to be taken that the value is put in it beforehand. Alright? Okay. So this is what we speak about initialization of a structure variable. To what are you initializing values? Definitely to the structure variable, but to the data members at every in order, like for example name, age, branch, and gender. Moving on.